to Dylan and he's 2 up, or it could be a goal to Cess and he brings it back to a draw. So it's going to be interesting how it goes.
Yeah, I think Dylan set the pace pretty early on in the first leg. You expecting to see the same kind of approach from him, or do you feel like Sesto's started to adapt to that style, Justin?
I think he's going to look to try and get that early goal. I think early goal, again, is very important for both of these players. It's interesting because even if Dylan does get that first goal, he only goes up by 2. That's nowhere near safe for what he needs to be able to get these 3 points and to make sure that he's secure in this leg. Because as we've seen in previous legs today, a 3-goal lead means nothing, and a 4-goal lead in this leg itself does not mean anything. So early goal is going to be very important.
Do you think if Sesto is able to actually get this win over Dylan Campbell, does that change your expectations of him as a player heading into the playoffs as opposed to before this competition started?
I think it does. I think he's going to really put himself up there in that top 4 position. Obviously, we've got Mike, Dylan, Mark, all those names that we're expecting results from. And obviously, Cess, he's obviously come into a new club as well, jumping Western Forces, and he's going to want to be putting these results in.
Let's see if he's able to do it. Couple of little changes on in there, and he's gotten straight back into it, Justin. And he's going to be the one to set the pace here early on. Starts off with possession at the start of this leg. Dylan almost overturns things and maybe tries to run away and score himself an early goal. He's being pretty aggressive at trying to get possession back, but it's not allowed. Sesto passes it off to R9, and he's going to even things up 4 apiece, and this game is getting real spicy now.
4-4. With only 3 minutes into the second leg, we are looking at a very interesting next 85 in-game minutes. How is Dylan going to respond back to this? That is the question.
So, a little bit too heavy-handed with Hakimi there for a second. R9 almost steals possession back, but Dylan, fortunately, can't convert that corner into a goal. And now Sesto with another opportunity to start working some magic here, Harrison.
Yeah, well, as we said, it was going to be that first goal, and it's pretty much 0-0. We're 8 minutes into this second half, pretty much 0-0. Anything goes in. There we go. It's that rebound goal, and it's that foot icon team of the year, Ronaldinho, again as well. Again, he's putting on a show today.
He's been putting in work, Justin.
He's constantly scoring for both of our opponents here. I think Harrison and I mentioned it off stream earlier to each other. Difference between the top echelon of players in the ANZ region is that consistency. I think the difference between your Mark 11, your Mark J, your Dylan Campbells, and then the rest of the competitors is just that consistency. To be at the top, to be able to win your FSG comps, you have to be consistent all the time. And that's what we see with Mark 11. He's won 3 competitions so far this year out of 3. And for Sesto to be putting himself in that top echelon, he's got to pull off results against competitors like these.
Oh, another opportunity for Sesto. Going to reset from the corner yet again. Pull it, going to pass it around a little bit. Tries to find R9. Still can't quite find the right angle of approach, and a little bit heavy on the pass there means that Dylan's going to grab himself possession back yet again here, Harrison.
He has, and I think he's going to have to reset and compose himself like he did start the first leg. He obviously came out blazing, and I think he's going to want to reset, come again, and continue here and keep putting goals on the scoreboard.
Defense from Sesto, though. Felt like it was too easy for Dylan to break through in that first leg, but it's a bit of a different story now, Justin.
Well, we're only 20 minutes in game of this second leg, but haven't seen as many goals conceded. A very interesting save animation there from team of the icon Van der Sar. See Sesto just looking to create another opportunity. Brilliantly defended there by Dylan Campbell.
A lot of pressure being put on. See, at this point, Dylan wanting to extend his lead here if possible. Start running it down the wing a little bit. Ronaldinho over to Bellingham, but the pass does not get completed. So Sesto now with another opportunity to even things up here, Harrison.
Yeah, and he's running with Gruccio there as well. He's A-League player from Western United. But it is going forward, Pele. And he's just composed again. It's that R9. Will we see some more goals out of R9 in this game as well? He's usually a common goal scorer in the E-League this year. And it's reset. It's gone out for a corner. Will we see this short pass again? It seems to be the case. It seems like that's what they're doing. And playing the ball around on the outside. R9 with a strike again. A brilliant save by Van der Sar, as he always does.
Now Dylan with the chance to reset. Start passing it up the field. Go 5-2, Justin. The shots.
Yeah, 5-2 shots on target. So far, Sesto having majority of the chances. Just can't seem to get more than that first goal that he picked up early on. Harrison, how do you think he's going to be able to create more of those chances but be more clinical?
I think he needs to look for that extra smart pass. And I love the way you term that, so I've stolen it as well. But I think he needs to look for that extra smart pass. We saw that in Bill's game where he was looking for it, and he obviously was able to score 8 goals. We need some more goals in this matchup, I think. Obviously, these two have been playing pretty well defensively, but I feel like we need to let some rip, and maybe we should see some power shots. I'm not really sure.
Pretty heavy pass there from Dylan. Might give Sesto another chance to kind of even things up as we head towards the first half of the second leg. This game tight as ever. Dylan given possession though pretty deep into the field. Unfortunately, that chip up is not going to find its mark, and Lucio going to start working the ball further up the field. R9 going to pass it over to Mbappe, and Pele working his way into a position where he can get comfortable is Sesto. Dylan quite active, quite aggressive with how he's harassing him on the defense. There you go, we found Mbappe, but unfortunately not to be there, Justin.
Just slightly unlucky with the timing of the pass. I think Sesto's just trying to work his way into the game, just try and be slightly patient, work that next chance. But there's the complete opposite of patience. It's a beautiful chip through ball. Just can't reach it. Unfortunate not to be able to find himself equal again in the tie.
Might be a chance here for Dylan. Put one more goal in before the last half of this series. It's been tight as you like, but Sesto, another great defense from him. Corner reset for Dylan. See if he can make the best of it. He'd love to go up 6-4 heading into the last half of this series here. Ronaldinho, he has been the highest scoring player so far, but not to be. And Sesto, after all said and done, will keep it down to 1 goal here, Harrison.
Yeah, it's really close. It's a lot closer than the first half of the first leg, that's for sure. Obviously, with it only being 1 goal the difference Dylan's way. We've seen here that Sesto actually has had the majority of the possession and shots in this first half. Could Dylan be lucky to be up at this break? How does Ses or Dylan react?
I'm not sure, really. I think Dylan's just going to try and be a bit, I guess, calmer, a bit more patient, just trying to, I guess, not give away the ball easily and give Sesto those opportunities. I think if he is a bit calmer look for those extra passes, I think maybe that's where those goal-scoring opportunities can come for him. But another thing is just, don't give the ball as easily as away to Sesto.
It's going to get headed out into the crowd there. So another chance to reset here for Dylan. He's been great at scoring these goals early on, these statement goals, but Sesto's defense has been something else since he let the first 4 through, Harrison.
He flicked the switch, and he had to, really. I think he flicked the switch, and I think he's playing a lot similar to how he was playing in that Mike game earlier on, where he came out of the blocks and scored 10. So I think we need to see more of that, and I think he's switched that on. And for Dylan's sake, I think he needs to just continue composing himself and maybe find how he scored those 4 early goals and try and get there again.
Too many players have been able to push Dylan, so I feel like I'm already happy with what I've seen from Sesto, regardless of this, the way that this series goes. Justin, he's definitely a player I'm going to keep my eye on if he's able to, you know, secure himself a spot in the top 6, and I'm keen to see how he goes in the playoffs.
I think you'll be very happy with how he's played, but if he doesn't come away with at least a point, I think it doesn't really matter how he thinks he's played. He'll be disappointed with the defeat if he doesn't get that point.
Another chance for him to score here. Mbappe going to pass it off to Hullet, but again, Dylan quite aggressive, harassing him on the defense. Wrestles possession of the ball back yet again here, Harrison.
Yeah, Dylan's playing good on the defense so far this half. We haven't seen many opportunities from Ses, and you can see he's composed. He's keeping the possession, which he wasn't doing in the first half of this second leg. So he's definitely changed the way he wants to play, and we could see a goal-scoring opportunity. Another big save from Van der Sar, but this is more that we want to see from Dylan if he wants to go and get that 2-goal lead in this game.
Lucio inside the box, gets bullied a little bit. But now once again, Sesto going to start working his way up the field.
I'm interested to see what Sesto does to try and get this next goal, because we saw in the first leg, it was that change of formation that really seemed to change the tides of the tie. Saw him get some really quick goals, and as we see, the use of that R1A pass through the middle of the defense, but I'm just not sure if it is that last pass, Harrison. Maybe is that the difference right now for Sesto?
I think it is. I feel like Dylan has been very well oiled defensively in this second leg, but we are seeing another opportunity from Sesto. That's a good pass. Oh, has he red timed that? That's very unfortunate. Obviously, the pressure is on. And those split-second clicks on the button could just impact a goal-scoring opportunity like it did there. But Dylan's going ahead forward again on the top side. Another cross, green timed, and Van der Sar. He's pulled that out. He is on a new one again. But Dylan's maintained the ball, and I thought we were going to see another goal there, honestly.
Not to be. Still haven't had either one of these players score, but Dylan's getting a fair few more opportunities than he was having before.
He's creating a lot more, as he just said, than what he did in the first half. He's had majority of the chances, just not able to get a goal, and will that be something that he'll look back on and think that was the difference, that was the chance, that was the moment to be able to make sure of this result?
R9 and Mbappe trying to do some fancy footwork past the defense. Lucio gives it one extra tap, and you are going to see a little bit of a pause for a second. Should see Dylan grab possession back after that, or I think it was Sesto perhaps, but still only one goal left in it.
No, I'm just interested to see. I think he's in the 4-2-3-1 formation, Dylan, which, if I want to say correctly, he wasn't using before. I think he was using the 4-3-2-1. Interesting change. Is that to try and go maybe more defensive, Harrison?
I think it is, and I'm actually interested that he hasn't pulled out the 5-4-1. In the last FGS 3, that is what he pulled out to play very, very well, and he actually came a runners-up in FGS 3 and played very, very well. And the 5-4-1 was the formation he was using against players like Sard and Nageti. So I'm surprised, but look, he's the reigning champ. He's still undefeated. I'm not going to question him. It's going to be a very, very big last 14 minutes.
Well, we're going to get back into this game. Unfortunately, no game audio, but more important that we see the result. And there you go. Sesto taking his time from the corner here, deciding how he wants to approach this one. Mbappe and Hullet passing it around, but Dylan once again wrestles himself some possession.
This is going to be a tight contest for the next 11 minutes. Sesto needs to find a chance if he wants to be able to equalise. Nice tube through ball, but defended brilliantly again. I feel like that's a common theme for this second leg, Harrison. constant defense from Dylan, and it's been amazing defense, to be said.
It has been amazing, and I think he's changed up. He's realised he needed to lock down, and he needed to make sure that if Ses is going to have any opportunities, they need to be difficult ones and easy ones for Van der Sar to be able to put a glove to, and that's what he's done. But, ooh, again, he knew the through ball was coming, and he ran back with his centre-back just to make sure he could cover the lane, and the great defending. But could we see him get another goal before the end of this game? Is he going to hold off and just defend, or is he going to try and get another one? Because goal difference is important.
5 minutes in it, and Sesto grabs himself possession again. He's only got so many more opportunities left in this game. Needs to try and even things up if he's going to get 1 point out of it, but it's the same theme again here, Justin. Dylan's able to grab possession once we head over towards the box. Now he's got Mbappe with space, running it straight up the wing, looking for someone to pass it off to. One more goal would secure this one. He's already ahead, but maybe he just wants to hold on to possession and run down the clock a little bit more. Make sure that Sesto can't get any more opportunities here. Mbappe taking his time. Going to pass it over to Hakimi, and that's going to be full time here. Dylan's just going to run the clock out and take the win 5-4 here.
Now, that was very smartly done by Dylan. You see a lot of the casual, the common player try and go and score right at the end, but you don't need a goal. Why would you try and get that opportunity? Take it to the corner, try and just hold on to the result and make sure that you're going to pick up your 3 points.
Yeah, very, very well done. So there you go, Dylan remains undefeated here in his E-League group. Sesto pushes him all the way to the brink, but can't quite get the W. Either way, though, plenty more games of FIFA coming up right after this break. Don't go too far.
Welcome back to E-League Australia 2023, presented by Nivea for Men. My name's Nate Patrick. Thank you for joining us. That was actually live action there. Look, I can't say exactly what I heard was going on, but let's just say Mike J convincingly ahead of Boom FC there in that second leg. So we'll have that full-time result to you in just a moment's time. But what's about the champ, Mitch Austin? We got the TV monitor that we like watching the game on here. But then we go into the Twitch chat. You get the ad with Dylan Campbell to see Dylan Campbell winning again, 5-4. The champ is undefeated.
Yep, and look, it was a nearly a good fight back from Sesto there, to be honest. But look, Dylan held out. Obviously, 5-4 win, and you know it's a really good win from him. But you know, credit to Sesto after being a few goals down there to fight back and nearly get something out of it.
Confirmation from our excellent producer Swifty. That is the final score of that other clash. 12 goals to 3. Mike J responding as only Mike J can. Justin, brilliant.
Oh, that's a brilliant result and I guess a brilliant way to respond to his earlier loss earlier tonight. But, you know, he's still going to be in contention for those top 2 spots, I believe. I believe he's only lost 2 games so far this season, so still a lot of points there and still a lot of games to be played for the rest of the season, so opportunity to get into those top 2 spots.
Yeah, potentially Dylan won't be happy to have had that big lead and let it slip. But hey, let's find out from the man himself. Lav, let's have a chat with Dylan.
Dylan, congrats on a good win. Congrats on remaining undefeated this far in the season. How does it feel? And how does it feel knowing that you may not have been named as the favourite to win this week? We had an interview earlier in the week that Mike J was tipped as the favourite to win, but obviously tonight has proven very different for both of you. Do you think you are the man to beat, or do you think that the Mike J prediction is a fair call?
Well, it feels good to be unbeaten still. I think I played well pretty much the whole E-League season. A bit disappointed the way that game went, but on that E-League favorite thing, to be honest with you, like I don't really look into what everyone else says. I only consider my own opinion, in all honesty. So if I think that I'll win the E-League, and I think I'm a really good chance now with the way I'm playing, that's all that matters to me, and I do believe that I'm good enough now to win it.
I do also want to talk to you about Sesto. Obviously, you secured the win, albeit narrowly in this game, but he did pull one over on Mike J earlier in the night. How do you think he potentially can shake up this ladder?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sesto's a very good player. Like every time I do play him in friendlies, tournaments, whatever it is, he gives me a good game. And you saw that again tonight. I was 4-0 up. It's stunned that it went back to 4-4. In all honesty, I think probably a bit on my end, a bit unfortunate as well, that I didn't really run away with that game, in all honesty, in the first leg. But I think, yeah, he's definitely capable of causing, I guess, what you would call upsets. Everyone knows how good he is in this region. I do think personally that there is an established top 5, 6, whatever it is, players in this region. And I expect there won't really be any surprises, I don't think, in the playoffs.
Well, good luck with the rest of the season. Hoping you can still maintain that undefeated record.
Thank you.
So much, Lav. Incredible from Dylan Campbell, the champ, who said he was relieved after match day 1. Mitch Austin, the champ, is truly in form, playing extremely well. When that game against Sesto, you can just pass to your fullback, run all the way back to your keeper. As calm as you like from the defending champ, and still undefeated.
Yeah, look, it's obviously a good evening for him tonight, and you know, he's obviously put himself in a really good position now, obviously going into the finals. And you know, I think touching on what he's said, you know, regarding Sesto and you know, obviously the top 6 kind of being together. But you know, for me personally, I think once it goes into kind of that sort of knockout stages, I feel like, you know, anyone can kind of win. You know, if somebody doesn't turn up, you know, look at Mike J, for example. You know, in his first game, like if you don't turn up, you know, you could be in for a bit of a battering. So you know, get what he's saying, but I think, you know, when it comes to kind of competition time, I think, you know, everyone's in for a chance.
You think that's a fair comment then, Justinho, that we're talking about in Group A, maybe that top 5 or 6 has separation, but overall in the region, there's a top 6, established top 6 that Dylan expects that sort of hierarchy to remain.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very fair to say. I mean, we constantly talk about those players. We're always mentioning D. Campbell, Mike J, Mark 11, Naylor, Nagidi. I mean, I don't know necessarily who's saying the 6th player is. I'll leave that up to him because I'm not going to comment. I think you could put anyone, really, there's a few players you could really put into that last 6 spot. But no, I think it's going to be hotly contested to be able to try and get into your top 6 spots in your actual group or table. But the top 6 across the whole competition, I think, is fairly safe.
All right, Justin and Dylan with not so much predictions, but the established hierarchy, to use that word once more. One of the names mentioned by both Dylan Campbell, Justinho, is Mark 11. He's up against Paddy, who was one of the 2 competitors alongside Lockie of the Mariners to not score. That's right, no goals across 2 legs. And now he faces Mark 11, Mitch. That's got to be terrible for the nerves.
Yeah, obviously, look, he had a pretty disappointing, earlier game against Lockie, and look, he would have wanted to obviously bounce back in this game, but look, it's got to be playing on his mind after such a disappointing earlier game. But look, I think any form of a positive result here, for Paddy will do him a world of good, I think, but it's going to be tough.
Lovely to hear from Mark 11. Last week, the #1 seed, twice as many FIFA Global Series points as the man seeded #2. One more FGS Cup to come. Well, we've done that before with Justin as well. FIFA Global Series, FGS, whatever way you want to spin it. Mark 11 is one of the very best. He scored 11 goals earlier tonight. Now, Noah Jar has said that there was a thunderstorm that is wreaking havoc with his internet. Paddy's got the setup to beat the rest, so surely nothing on his end to enter that discussion. Skill on skill, and Mark 11 doing it as only he can. Foot of the defender in the way, corner kick.
Really nicely worked there from Mark 11, and already setting a stomp on this game early doors, and Paddy's back to the wall already.
Shout out to Airborne, Marcus Gomes, Naylor, other competitors in the chat, whether their games are done for today or just popping in. Much love and respect to you, what you've brought us today and over the competition so far. A lot of chat around playoffs. Ryan Kitto on the ball, A-League men's foot item. Surely alongside Craig Goodwin for Paddy for Adelaide United. But what about this sort of talk of hierarchy and standings, Mitch Austin? Are you convinced that there's this sort of half dozen that are clearly above the rest?
I think, look, obviously there is a a clear cut of class player. As he said, the top 6. But in terms of where I was going, it's I feel like when it's a competition time and the pressure's on, I feel like certain players mentally can kind of crumble when it comes to knockouts, and when there is a big prize at stake, I feel like it just kind of changes the dynamic a little bit, and it just kind of gives the other guys a little bit of a chance when that really good save there from Van der Sar, I think, and yeah, it just kind of opens it up, and it's 10 grand prize pool up for grabs, and it's one of them things where it does play on your mind, and it's pressure time for the boys.
A lot of space because there's a 5 at the back. It can look like a 3 at the back. Wing backs getting forward, whatever you want to call it, whatever it actually is. Mark 11 has seen that space early and tries to attack it. Patty covers, bringing back defenders manually. But Mark 11 able to score goals in a variety of ways. Said he loves his step overs. Happy just to spam them until he gets what he wants. First time lofted through ball around the corner. Pele's touch not ideal. Hakimi in the way. Mark 11 will go again. Player lock.
Pass from Paddy there. Can't be giving the ball away against a player of Mark 11's talent.
Ronaldinho, who we're seeing used more and more. A few people in the chat not agreeing. Airborne, one of those, not saying that full item should be one of the first chosen. Some of us would love just to use that foot item for 5 games or no, but...
Who's that, Ronaldinho?
Yeah, not a fan apparently, Airborne, but he's got to be a fan of what he's seeing from Mark 11 right now. Mbappe alongside R9, one of the top 2 goal-scoring foot items in this competition so far, and he never looks quite as good as when Mark 11 is using him.
Look, the goal was coming, and you can tell from the start that Mark Levin's had. You know, it's really been hard to contain for Paddy, and you know, it's not a good start in any way, shape or form for Paddy. But look, it's you know, he's just got to try and take what he can get here, and there we go. We've got an instant reply from Paddy. Pele, and he's absolutely buzzing with that.
The cross, the first time knocked down, and then a bit of composure at the end of it. Paddy has a goal against Mark 11, the number 1 seed, after going 180 plus in-game minutes, scoreless against Lockie, respectfully, without a point in the E-League so far before that clash. FIFA 23 can be a funny game at times. Mitch, no goals there, 1 goal against the very best right now.
Yep, and that's FIFA for you. You know, sometimes it's just a fresh game. You know, you've had those games in FIFA. I'm sure you know when it's like nothing's going right for you, and
that's most of my games. Yeah,
we're nearly offside, but you load into a new game, and it's like it's a fresh game, and everything starts going right for you again. And you know, maybe that's hopefully maybe what Paddy's gonna feel in this game, and he's sort of, you know, mentally he's just reset himself, and yeah, having a bit of a fresh start, and you know, a goal against Mark 11. Maybe a bit of a confidence booster for him here.
Kitto and Goodwin confirmed on that near side, left-hand side for Paddy, who in turn uses the player lock. Pele, pass across to Hullet. Can see the left and right wing backs so far up the pitch, providing a lot of width, but doesn't want to use them. Once again, there's the space in behind. The extra centre-back can cover, and does so. Virgil in the way for Paddy, Mark 11. Certainly knows what he's looking for there, trying to get in behind, but credit Paddy. Not many competitors using this formation. Mitch, Paddy's making it work so far, I was about to say, in defence, but also attacking in an attacking sense. We know he loves the cross, the German cross, the meme. It's a thing. It's less of a meme when it's working. The extra pass across and the big air swing. Mark 11 not required to do much more there. At the end of this first half, I promise I am trying to let you get a word in there, Mitch, but goodness me, you see the big air swing from R9 and a million other things at once. 1-1 after the first half. What do you make of that?
Yeah, look, I think it was a, you know, Mark started off really well, really positive, attacking flair, attacking football, and, you know, Paddy was sort of just struggling to deal with him. But look, I think as soon as he's got that, you know, that equaliser, he's yeah, really sort of come into the game. I think a little bit there towards the back end of the half, and obviously, look, there's still a long way to go in this game, but I think, you know, Paddy can take a bit of confidence. You know, he's kept the shots against him down quite low, and you know, he's had a few opportunities himself. So let's see how we can go in the second half.
Well, about that formation, we've talked about the likes of the 4-3-2-1 being the meta, or at least the go-to, maybe for casuals, and certainly here, the E-League Australia, and certainly in the E-Prem and what more, 4-4-2 variants. Not so much your 3 at the back or 5 at the back formations, at least from the outset.
Yeah, I think that's where Paddy's, you know, quite unique as well with that formation that he is playing with, you know, 3 at the back, and you know, obviously Beckham in there as well with his crosses and stuff. It's, you know, it's a fresh approach to FIFA, and you know, I actually enjoy watching him, and you know, he brings good content through the week as well with his TikTok videos and that I quite enjoy watching. And yeah, he's been a bit of a fresh breath of fresh air, should I say, to the E-League, which has been great.
Was it just last week? The interview might have been one of the longest in E-League Australia history. He had a lot to say, and to be fair, the right of reply. Mark 11, I was about to just launch into some adjectives to describe the beauty of that, but it breaks down all too quickly for me. Paddy on the counter-attack, looks for the R9 in behind, player in the way, in-game crowd loves that. Mark 11 not having difficulty playing his way through, but it's this final third, Mitch, where the 5 players in defence, the 4 midfielders, not a lot of space for Mark to work with in between the lines.
Well, he's really he's compacted the space just in front of the defence really well, and you know, I think Mark's sort of attacking play there, he does like to go through the middle, so it's making it quite tough for him to get through. But look, all it does is, you know, sometimes it just takes that one chance where it does go through eventually, and you know, Mark 11's through and he's going to score. So that's, you know, Mark's ability there that always shines through. You know, I feel like he just keeps kind of doing the same play style that he's got, and eventually he's going to open you up.
Ronaldinho for Mark 11 into R9. The Brazilians linking up, but what's on the end of it? Kito stands up Ronaldinho, if you don't mind. Excellent defending from Paddy with the A-League men's foot item.
Yeah, it's a great tackle there, and not every day you hear Kito tackling Ronaldinho in the box. Really good stuff there, and great defending from Paddy as well.
Mark 11, very casual giveaway for him, and Paddy responds in kind. Player far side. Mark 11 sees him. Ronaldinho it is. What's the support like though? Wants to go byline, but once again, there's no players on show for the pass back, so he comes to centre midfield. Hullet. 1-2 with an A-League men's foot item again. They're showing up. Is there an assist or goal for one of them once more though? R9, you know there's plenty of goals from him. Paddy looks agitated. Mark 11 barely reacts, but it's another lovely crafted goal from the number 1 seed.
Yeah, lovely goal, and as I said, you know, he just takes his time, and eventually he's going to weigh you down, and he works the angle so well. He just knows the right spots in the box to pull off that reverse elastico, and it's guaranteed to get himself a shot on goal. And as we see, it's an easy finish in the end for Mark 11, and he's 2-0.
You called it, Mitch. You said you like EFL. You just see those attacking patterns repeated. Mark 11 in this type of form. Feels like an eventuality, not a maybe.
Yep, it's just how long can you defend it for? You know, it's just relentless, constant pressure, and you know, it's hard to defend. And look, you know,
we're seeing these ones again. If you are newish or you missed a week of E-League Australia, shame on you. But what you missed was Mike J doing this exact same thing, demanding that his opponent comes out and tries to put some pressure on, because Paddy with the 5-4-1, how it lines up defensively at the very least. Even a goal behind, Mitch just feeling no impetus, no urgency whatsoever.
No, and I think it goes back to Paddy having, I guess, that plan B when it's not working. And look, when you're coming up against an opponent such as Mark 11, you know, you really need to, I guess, have that, you know, second play style when this obviously isn't working. And you know, Mark will have obviously dissected Paddy's game style, I'm sure, during the week, and you know, in the past from when he's played against him. And yeah, you know, we're not really seeing a second play style here from Paddy. Really, it's all sort of been the same.
Only a goal behind. He's trying his best to make it 2 behind. Goodness me, passing straight back to Mark 11 and have a third attempt, if you don't mind. Vidic in the way. I was going to say not often used, but to be fair, not many competitors using 3 centre-backs. As we head towards the end of this first leg, Paddy not feeling the urgency, but maybe delighted, maybe he should be, to only be a goal behind up against this quality competitor for Mark 11. Particularly when there's space in behind, you can see him attack it. Mbappe maybe could have just kept sprinting into it, but Mark 11 more than happy to send defenders flailing. Couldn't get that one out. Jude. Ronaldinho contact, but here's the Brazilian who seems to take the shove, and it's not even a foul or anything doing. This will be untidy here at the end of the first leg, but we'll all lock back in at the very least for leg 2. Mark 11 looking for goal number 3. Paddy has kept him at bay and not at any point looked to push out with his 5-4-1. Will Mark 11 make him pay here right at the end in stoppage time? The extra pass, he will indeed. I felt like it was coming. Maybe you could see it coming. Yeni Ngbakoto with the assist. The A-League men's foot items on flames. Mark 11, a very professional first leg.
Yep, slap of the desk there for Paddy. And look, I was just about to say, you know, if he can kind of hold this result as it is, you know, leading into the second leg, you know, it would have been a pretty positive result, I think, for Paddy. But look, as I said, it's really hard to kind of contain Mark when he's in this sort of form, and you know, it's just constant pressure there at the end, and it was always coming. But look, Paddy he needs to just kind of have that sort of plan B going into this next leg, because I really think Mark's going to be really hard to contain here. So he's got to think of something to try and get something from the game, if there's going to be a possibility of that.
The extra central defender seemed to help at times. That was his goal, by the way. Very nicely done for the extra pass across. But when you've got the 5 and the 4, you can see there very clearly on your screen at pretty much all times against someone as good as Mark 11. They're almost traffic cones in the end. Certainly, Mitchell, you're not better, at least in this second leg, being 3 goals down to 1. Being a bit more urgent, pressing out, making some more manual challenges as opposed to hoping AI bodies are in the way.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to have to obviously make a go of the game and push higher up the field, get some men further forward, and and try and get some attacking play going and get himself some goals, because you can't just keep sitting off like that and expect to get yourself back in the game. But look, I think his sort of tactic was kind of, as you said, throw bodies in at the back there and almost kind of defend the space really of areas that Mark probably likes to get into. But look, quality of Mark's ability, it's a difficult task, and look, he's obviously failing so far, Paddy. But we have another game to go, and we'll see what he can do.
You said you like seeing that 5 at the back formation, not necessarily because of its defensive compactness, but because you like the variety, right, Mitch? Is it something that maybe he could go to a 3 at the back, similar-ish? You still get those 3 centre-backs, of course, but maybe you just get that little bit more urgency or simply more bodies forward from an earlier stage in the game.
Yeah, I think, as you said, like he has 3 at the back, but I feel like, when you've got them wing-backs, push them on a bit further forward and kind of get some more attacking players further forward, which obviously it is going to leave you a little bit more vulnerable at the back. But as I said, Paddy needs a few goals here to get back into the game, and he has stuck with that formation all the way throughout the E-League, and I think you look at the better players and they can easily switch formations if they need to change something that's not working and have a few other options in your locker, so to speak, which we haven't really seen from Paddy as of yet.
Not yet, but there is, of course, a second leg still to come. Reminder, if you have just joined of the situation as it stands, number 1 seed for E-League Australia 2023, Mark 11. 3 goals to 1 up. Mitch Austin, it might not be the goal fest that some people have been talking about in the Twitch chat and whatnot, but it's a very professional performance from Mark 11. Very disciplined. He's surely just quite confident, quite chill heading into leg 2, despite only having a 2-goal lead so far.
Yeah, I think you could just sort of, going off the face cam, he was getting a little frustrated, I think, just with the way, I guess, Paddy was sort of setting up there. And, I think Paddy he sets up like that, I guess, to kind of frustrate the opponent, because I know myself, it does get quite annoying. But, look, it was a very, I guess, a mature performance, from Mark, and that's kind of what you come to expect from him. And you don't win 3 FGS Cups back-to-back if you haven't got game, and he certainly got it.
A few comments about the formation and the shape and whatnot, and I appreciate and respect the FIFA purists. Call it exactly what it is. But when you've got those custom tactics on, when you've got that left or right mid back, Mitchell, surely it's fair enough to call it a 5 at the back, even if that's not strictly what you've got from kickoff.
No, and look, I have no issue with it. I just think when it's not working, you need to be able to change it and go for something else. Clearly when something's not working, there's no point sticking to it. The game, it can get away from you, and if you've not changed it soon enough. But that's the difference between the top quality pros and I guess the guys that are sort of new to the scene, is that decision making, when to make a change, having other formations and options that you can go to.
The 3-4-1-2 very strictly, but have a look at your screen. You can call it what you like. Maybe Paddy's going to make some changes. The formation doesn't need to change. Again, those custom tactics can have the shape looking very different indeed. Really good chance and start from Mark 11. Ronaldinho back inside now. Jude Hullett. Or it's lovely from Mark 11. You start to see the passing patterns, and you realize you might be in for a bit of a treat if you're Paddy. Might be a little bit worried. Hullett, driven pass cut out by Virgil. Off balance, does get it to Pele. Credit to Paddy for the defending.
Yep, and it's just, getting that first pass, once you win it back, try and make it stick. Otherwise, you nearly get punished as Mark 11 did there, almost with Mbappe, but keeper's keeping him in it here so far, Paddy.
Courtois, excellent diving save. Mark 11 throws the head back, but he will go again. Dare say you're not going to see just 3 scored from Mark 11 across these 2 legs. No. Not at this stage of E-League Australia. We won't call them warm-up games, but their hands will be warm if nothing else. He is your FGS Cup winner 3 times out of 3 this season. Will it be 4 from 4? Or will Paddy have something to say in that competition closer to home here on this match day? Mitch Austin, disgusted with that pass.
It's frustrating, he gets himself forward well and it's just a rush pass. I just feel like at the moment he's kind of not got, as Mark 11 has many passing patterns and patterns of play in his mind, as we're probably going to see here almost, but Paddy just seems a little bit clueless, I think, when he's on the ball at the moment. It's just out of ideas in terms of his attacking play, which, I really think he needs to try and sharpen up to get himself back in this game.
Maybe in those earlier weeks a little bit more forgivable, but so many competitors themselves bringing up playoffs. You've seen it on social media, I'm sure. Have a little look and or follow E-League Australia, E-League Oz. You're part of the conversation yourself, but that's what's on their minds. And Paddy, one of those looking for the 6th spot. There are no easy games in the E-League. That was made a little easier for him. Mark 11 striking the upright, and Paddy immediately down the other end. What will the final ball be like on this occasion? Mark 11 calls across the second defender. Same again.
He's getting good joy sort of, with the ball in behind, but, there's no one following up. He just seems to be Pele, whoever it is in the wider areas. Once he's played the ball over the top, there's just no support going forward, and I don't know whether that's a custom tactic change where he needs to get players to go forward faster, but he just seems too isolated up there, and Mark 11's defenders are just around him like a rash, and could be a chance here. German cross.
Extra pass across, defender in the way. There is that little bit of flair or variety at the end of it. Credit to Paddy for mixing it up, at least here across these 2 legs. No standard X pass and standard interception, making Mark 11 work. The other end, the pass doesn't stick, and thought Paddy might go immediately up the counter-attack. Sees it a little later, perhaps. Mark 11 now might settle things down just that little bit more.
Yeah, he's just rushing his driven passes, Paddy. As I said, he's getting joy with the sort of the balls over the top in those wider areas. So I think he just needs to, when he wins the ball back, just concentrate on keeping the ball for, just keeping hold of it for just a little bit of time, because he's just constantly giving it back to Mark 11 and he's putting himself back under pressure again.
Deflected something from Mark 11. Leaves Courtois sprawling. Corner kick resultant. Mark 11 again. Watch for the midfield passing link up. It finishes with R9, and that is another hit of the woodwork. Are you kidding me? Mark 11 can't believe it. Paddy hanging in by the width of the post once more.
Yep, hanging on for dear life here, Paddy. And signs of frustration for Mark 11 now. You can see it on the face cam, and I can fully understand why, but look, Paddy really hanging on for dear life here, and he's got to try and change something up here, because he's just not offering a lot in attack, unfortunately, so far.
Hakimi, it is again on the overlap. Mark 11 loves using that foot item on that left side. The left fullback tries to draw in 2 with Hullet. Eventually tackles it back. Paddy will get the ball. If you feel so inclined, count the number of passes past halfway for Paddy. It's been all in this half, and at the other end, bit of dribbling. Cross or 2, and that's been it. Beckham to Pele. Have a look at the red and black. That's about 2 by my count. Don't know what you watching along have got. Mark 11, ruthless. And have a look at this up the other end. The red and black jerseys. Ronaldinho, the last one of those, but Paddy does well in the end with Beckham to get that clear, and in the end to keep it to 0-0 at the half with still a half to come. It's a strange one. Mitch Austin, Mark 11, pushing for it, so close, hitting the woodwork yet again. He's almost the one leaving us feeling frustrated, clearly frustrated himself, despite that 2-goal advantage.
Yeah, I had to wait for the score to come up just to double check it was still 0-0, but look, some really good play from Mark 11, creating the angles really well, and Paddy just holding on for dear life here. And I think if you can try and snag a goal early on, it just kind of changes the dynamic a bit. And Mark's just getting a little bit frustrated, I think, with the chances that aren't going his way. And I think Paddy just needs to try and play on that a little bit, and try and frustrate Mark, because that seems to be kind of one of the main things he's got going for him here.
Might have been the hand warmers alluded to previously for Paddy. We've seen that set up, very impressive indeed. We're now looking at a 3-4-2-1 in game. Of course, competitors using the initial formations like Mark with the 4-2-4 for chemistry to get the players in that they want. The 4-3-2-1. When we're talking about those passing patterns, Mitch Austin, we've seen it over FGS. We've seen it here in the E-League. The three centre mids, Ronaldinho and Mbappe, the final pass to R9. It's beautiful to watch, and yet almost a little haunting, a little daunting surely if you're Paddy, because you know what's coming at the end of it. You've seen it time and time again over the last few months.
Yeah, and as you said, that formation, it's really, playing through the middle and centrally, which, maybe that's kind of why he's, trying to, have an absolute wall of players in there to try and stop it. And look, it's only 3-1. It's it's not completely away from him here. And me personally, Mark's been quite a high-scoring competitor, as we've seen early on in the night as well. And Paddy can take some confidence in knowing that he has kept the score line. Hence the obviously the crossbar has helped him a little bit, but yeah, it's defensively it hasn't been too shabby.
Woodwork, arguably the sixth defender of that back line. Mark 11 will be viewing it that way. Does go to Beckham now. Mitch wanted it played earlier, not to be, but does Paddy have to finish on the end? R9, lovely pass, the extra pass with two black and red jerseys in the way. But a really good challenge once more, and that's an even better find. Makes the hard pass, misses the easy one.
Interesting, he's got Beckham on the left-hand side now, and kind of thought with his right foot he would have him on that right side, whipping crosses in, but yeah, interesting to kind of see what he's got planned for him here.
Well, us a little at 6s and 7s, trying to keep up with the little changes. Despite the repetitiveness of the outcome, Kito again. I know that you and I are arguably the biggest fans of those A-League men's foot items. You've seen the videos, Mitch. I can't stop using them in foot champs and maybe even gritty on you afterwards, but there's nothing better than seeing Australia and New Zealand's best FIFA esports competitors do it on the highest stage. Of course, scoring goals, but also defending so well. You had Garuccio as well before for Western United. Yeah,
as you said, having the A-League players, defending against, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and actually stopping him from, from goal-scoring opportunities. It's great to see, and that's my favourite thing about the E-League. Having that, that cooperation between the A-League and the world-class icons and Team of the Year players. It's great to see.
R9 on the edge of the area, but he wants that cross released. Square pass, a little strange bobble again. It's been that type of contest. We're almost holding our breath, just waiting to see what random outcome you have at the end here. Mark 11's going to dominate possession. Paddy's sitting back, but what happens in between and right at the end? Sort of shuffle a deck of cards, because we've had a few woodwork hits. Maybe now, Ronaldinho through, near post open, near post taken. There is your gritty, customary E-League gritty. Welcome to the E-League indeed, Mark 11. Maybe letting a bit of frustration out, makes it 4-1.
No, get gritty on, kid.
I've saved it. I've seen it enough on people's streams on TikTok and whatnot. Apologies if that's been spamming your ears.
We love it. Great goal there from Mark. He just literally waited for Paddy to, get that keeper movement. And, I think that's the difference, myself, probably I would have had a shot there, and keeper would have saved it. But that's the difference with these top players. The decision making it's chalk and cheese to the amateur.
Might be a little harsh on Paddy, some of the comments, but at this stage of the competition, and if he wants that 6th playoff spot, 12 competitors in a group, and only the top 6 progressing through the group stage is a much fairer, much better equation than it has been in previous seasons. But for Paddy, dare say it's not going to be goal difference making the difference based on what we've seen so far. It's going to be the 3 points, the 1 point that you got against those top 5 competitors.
Yeah, he really needs to, obviously in his next few games, to try and pick up as many points as he can. But I think all in all for Paddy, obviously he was a late inclusion as well. I think it could be a positive first E-League for him. He's picked up a few wins, and he's had some good performances, and he's brought a bit of a fresh life to the E-League in terms of his play style. And I think he can be happy with his contribution, I think, so far.
It's confirming that the Nate aggregate scoreline is correct. Don't worry about that top left. 4-1, almost 5. Courtois called upon. Mark 11 at this stage can just smile and enjoy it. When it was 1-1, different story. But even if it is one of those games, in inverted commas, Mark 11 has made it one where he's going to claim all 3 points.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a dominant performance, and just seeing the old 3-2 aggregate there, I thought, hang on, I've been watching a different game here.
Don't you worry, but you know what? That might change all of a sudden. Ronaldinho back on the right foot. Paddy then goes near post with Virgil in the way. I like what you were saying there, though, Mitch, about it is Paddy's debut here. Debut season in the E-League. All good and well for us to say at this stage of the E-League, how are you not turning through those gears, progressing as you go? Maybe it is a case like I'm a FIFA tryhard, Noah Jar, where in that second season you use some of these experiences and you learn how that competitive difference forces you to play differently, adapt on the fly, maybe just get those reactions a little quicker as well.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. As I said, I think for Paddy it's just having that second option and, having a bit of a plan B. Looks like he's going for a bit of a skill finish there. Not sure it's the right time for that, but yeah, it's just having that, second option, I think, for Paddy. And looks like we're through on goal here with Alawiran.
Near post is open, and he'll take it. Have another gritty. Mitch, your man's got another goal.
Yep, good to see him coming on and, proving the difference. As I said, late inclusion off the bench. That pace is just, so hard to... You can't defend pace, I'm going to be honest, That was my only thing, when I've played football, has been fast, and, you can't teach pace. So, late in the game, players are tired. Alawiran, no other guy I'm turning to by that man.
I think you're being a little bit harsh on yourself. We've just seen your pro foot item as well, Mitch. It doesn't just say pace on there, mate. There's a few other big numbers as well.
Did you not see the bronze, mate? 90 pace,
I'm trying to help you here, Mitch.
80 strength, I'll take that.
Hey, there he is. He is 5-1 on aggregate in favour of Mark 11, plus the 2 gritties. Maybe we'll have a bonus point for that as the weeks go on. Into the defender once more, but Paddy will get it back. Ronaldinho, and again, either the passing lane well blocked or pass not on. For somebody who does love to cross it so much, Mitch, a little surprising he hasn't tried it a bit more often.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've not really seen him, utilise that cross. It's his bread and butter and his sort of go-to, style of play, but maybe that's credit to Mark 11 for, not enabling him to get it off.
Finish again. Foot fantasy hero Alawiran to seal it off. No need for a gritty. You've got plenty of goals. You've got a professional performance. Maybe strangely, we're saying good for Paddy to have gotten that 1 goal. Otherwise, that would have been 4 legs of FIFA in one day without a single goal. Credit where credit is due. The very best competitors in this competition have struggled and will struggle against Mark 11. Dylan Campbell, the defending champ and undefeated, but Mark 11, the #1 seed and the #1 ranked competitor in our region, proving why he's so good.
Yeah, unbelievable performance there from Mark. Solid, really hard to, really hard for Paddy to really kind of create anything in that game there. Nice little goal that he did obviously get, which can be a bit of a confidence booster for him. But look, Mark 11, as we said, back-to-back FGS Cup winner. These are sort of the games where he just sort of, feel like he was in second gear all the way through there.
Back to back to back, and maybe one more to come. There is one more round to come. Don't you go anywhere. More E-League Australia action for you after this break. Welcome back to E-League Australia 2023, presented by Nivea Men. Fantastic to have you join us this evening, and please don't go anywhere. One excellent round still to go, 2 games that we're very excited for. But Mitch, in terms of what we've just watched, we're talking about it sort of during that little break there. Mark 11 in fine form. Paddy just maybe not giving us that plan B, that X factor that we're craving at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was maybe his mentality going into the game and he was a little bit, on edge because he's playing against the top seed, which, it is understandable. But look, 6-1 win there for Mark 11. It was a thoroughly deserved win for him, and we're obviously still waiting for the Lockie v Dylan Banks result to come through. But yeah, just touching on that, previous result, Mark, he was really, kind of just was in second gear, I think, for the whole game. And, he's obviously, climbing up the ladder and he's on Dylan Campbell's tail. Yeah,
have a look at the gap forming, if you like. We were talking about how important that was for Paddy in terms of the 6th spot. Maybe the game plan is just to keep that goal difference down. 10 points apiece with Boom FC, Justin, and only 1 goal separating a playoff contender from elimination from the competition.
Yeah, it's getting really close there, and depending on this next game, if Mark's able to win, puts himself 6 points clear of both of those competitors.
We're excited. We really, really are to get stuck into them, but we love hearing from the competitors themselves. Most importantly, most crucially, I don't know what you're talking about, we've had some Dylan chat. I believe it's time for Mark 11 to respond live, have a chat with the number 1 seed.
Mark, how are you going? You have had another glorious night. 2 solid wins on the board. How are you feeling now that we're getting to the pointy end of the season after tonight's results?
Good. It was a pretty easy last game, so good to go with that, and then hopefully I can reach Dylan soon.
There has been a fair bit of talk this week. We've had a lot of hyping up of Dylan, a lot of hyping up of Mike J. Do you feel like you're being underestimated at this point?
Nah, it's alright. I don't care about that stuff anyway, so it doesn't bother me.
You don't care about the hype?
Nah, it's alright.
Who in the rest of the season, obviously our top 4, top 5 are sort of on lock at this point. Who do you think is going to sneak into those last few spots?
Probably not Paddy with his playstyle. Like, if it wasn't for crosses, he'd probably be in like Div 9. So hopefully he changes his playstyle and he can make top 6 with that. But yeah, crossing is not going to get you anywhere.
Oh, wow. Poor Paddy is just getting shots fired left, right and centre in this E-League. Thank you so much for bringing the drama. Hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you, you too.
In these interviews, is there some type of list of talking points that I'm just not being privy to? First, Mike J, now Mark 11. Thank you very much, Lav, for getting Mark 11 to open up. Wasn't so worried about talking about himself there, was he, Mitch? More than happy to talk about Paddy, saying he's a Div 9 player if it wasn't for crosses. In fact, opened the interview by saying it was an easy last game. It didn't feel like a belter. It wasn't like 10 or 15 goals scored, but are you getting that impression based on how casually Mark 11's taking it?
Yes. Don't talk smack about Div 9 players, mate. I'm one of them at most of the time during the week. But yeah, look, I mean, as you can see, it's sometimes it is frustrating coming up against players that are quite defensively. And me personally, I think that's kind of Paddy's play style. It's try and frustrate the opponent and kind of see what he can get out of the game. But look, Mark 11's quality. I don't think Paddy's gonna come out on tops there. So yeah, great win for Mark.
Mark 11, hopefully we hear from him again later on during the competition. Your last round of the night about to get underway. Marcus Gomes of MacArthur is back, as is Bilzer from Melbourne Victory.
And when we were looking at the games for tonight, I was really keeping a keen eye on where Marcus was positioned in this group and what kind of games that he had coming up for himself. And I was thinking, man, he could really punch himself quite solidly in towards that top 6. You've been name dropping him right since the first day, Justin. So you must be happy about that, mate.
Yeah, no, Marcus is a competitor that I have appreciated, not only as a fellow competitor but as a mate. He is one of the best for a reason, and he's shown exactly why right there. Team of the year, foot item Mbappe, the green beam finish across the box. You absolutely love to see it, Harrison.
Oh, it was absolutely incredible, and he started off the leg very strong here. And a win puts him up into 4th place in the group standings as well. But Bill has come back attacking very quickly. Unfortunate there. And we spoke about this earlier, and I wanted to highlight that Marcus is actually using an A-League keeper. So not only is it just the Wellington Phoenix boys with Ollie Sale, we've got Curto from MacArthur.
There you go. I think that was it, you were bringing that up before, right?
Yeah. So we spoke about it earlier that no one else apart from Wellington was, and maybe there was a reason for it because obviously Ollie Sale was letting in a few goals that may have been saved by Van der Sar, for instance, but it worked out for Marcus last game, and that's a good chance again.
Yeah, I mean, he's a veteran with a lot of experience, so I feel like you almost can't say that it's incorrect if Marcus Gomes does it, right, Justin?
I think Marcus has set a standard over the years of, a thing that I think a lot of us fellow players have learnt from in regards to being very patient, very smart about where you're passing the ball. I know Harrison was saying that I was pointing the term smart pass, but I can only give the credit to one man, Air Japes FIFA. That man is a legend of the YouTube FIFA scene and coined it himself, so I can't take any credit for that.
Oh, evening things up nice and early on here. 1 apiece though. So this game not being let to go by the wayside here for Bilzer. He, only has so many games left in this group, and he might not have had the desired season for himself so far, Harrison.
Yeah, he may not have, and obviously he has put himself on the back foot, and he's going to need to pull out some wins that people may not have expected. He's still got a lot of the opponents that are on top of the group at the moment that he still needs to compete against, and he's going to need to get wins and results out of those fixtures to get into the top 6.
Marcus, fortunately, ball gets away from him a little bit more, so Bills are going to have another chance here to potentially score. Going to start making his way up the field. And he might not have had the best start to the night, but with R9, he can certainly change his fortunes around. Can't quite convert that one, though, Justin.
Yep, I think what's let himself down there, Bilzer, is the fact that he read time that finish. I think even if he had just gone for a normal finish, not try to time it, might have beaten the A-League men's goalkeeper. But Marcus looks to hit on the counter here, and unlucky that that ball hasn't gone straight through. But I think this is a game that Bilzer, look, it's not. And I think people agree Marcus isn't as good as where he was in the past and isn't one of those top 3 competitors, but I think very similar to Sesto, is just on the edge of the top 3 competitors in this group, as we can see from the table and the points that he has. But this is a game that if Bilzer can pick up points, Harrison, he'll be giving himself a decent chance to try and sneak into that top 6.
Yeah, that is certainly the case, and he's done it before in only the FIFA Global Series 3 just recently. Bill actually managed a top 8 finish and beat Marcus in one of the games. So it's not out of the question. It is definitely a possibility, and it's a game of FIFA. Anything is possible. We've seen plenty of goals tonight. We've seen a game with no goals. So it's going to be interesting to how this goes. But we have had a strong start to this leg so far with Marcus on the attack with Ronaldinho. Ooh, I wasn't sure if he was going to shoot there or play one of those smart passes, but it was definitely a good opportunity, maybe a little wasted.
Van der Sar just dives right on top of it, shuts that all down. So Bilzer now going to just work his way up the field nice and patiently. Passing it between Bellingham and Gullit. Going to chip it over to Mbappe, who's got a lot of defenders to find his way past, and he can't manage it, Justin.
It was brilliant defending by Marcus, and a great manual tackle by Marcus Wood-Miller there, the A-League men's player for MacArthur. I think Bills is now just looking to try and find his way past that last line of defence. He's looked a lot towards that chip-through ball, but I don't know how he's going to get past this defence without those chip-through balls at the moment, because when it comes to those R1A passes through the line of defence, Marcus just seems to intercept it every time.
Here's Theo. Been doing some good work for a couple of the competitors up on the top side of the field pretty regularly. Pass over to Mbappe, but R9 can't convert there, Harrison.
Yeah, it was a good chance there, and unfortunately wasn't able to convert as R9 regularly does. Bill here with the ball again on the top side. He's finding his rhythm in this game. I think it's 1-1 at the moment. I think both players are obviously feeling each other out, seeing what's going on and who's attacking in which style. As we know that a lot of the players attack in different styles, and Bill loves to use that reverse elastico, and it hasn't really come off there, but it is definitely something that Marcus needs to be wary to. And we've finished 1-1 at the half in the first leg with a pretty tight contest. This is going to be an interesting one to end the night.
Taking a look at the stats here, anything kind of jumping out to you, Justin?
The expected goals, both players with the same amount of shots, but we don't like to try to bring attention towards the expected goals. I know a lot of people at home, when playing for champs or rivals, might see themselves with an XG of 4 or 5 and thinking, and still being down and thinking, what is going on? But Bilzer does have slightly higher XG, but as Harrison mentioned, it's a very tightly contested game, so it could go either way here.
Yeah, still plenty more left to play as well. Bills are going to kick things off here and see what he could do. Get a sub in to Pele there for Marcus's side. R9 running it straight into the box, going to try and beat absolutely everybody, but Curto saves it twice, Justin. What's going on there?
A red time finish again, but I'm just completely shocked. I think everyone around the studio, hands on heads, thinking, what was the second attempt? How has he not put himself into the lead, Bilzer? I honestly, I'm speechless, Harrison.
As you said, my hands went straight to my head. I had to hold in my thoughts there. That was wild. But can he convert here? And he has. 2-1. That's R9. R9's made up for that mistake. That red time finish earlier, he's made up for it. That smart pass across the box, he's done excellent there. And he's made it 2-1. And he's definitely, he's got the confidence. Hopefully he continues and he can put a result on the board.
Bilzer piling on the aggression. Might be time for Marcus to see what he can do himself. R9 trying to find something, but Bilzer, again, he's been quite aggressive, honestly, defending. Getting a lot of interceptions for himself. Doing a very, very good job at keeping hold of the ball, and again, going to run it all the way up the top side with Ronaldinho. Trying to find someone to pass it off to, but unfortunately, Hullett losing control of the ball there, Justin.
Yeah, last part of attack. It's the place where you've got to be locked in. Make sure your passes are getting to your attackers. Speaking of just there, Marcus not really making a great pass to his attacker. Go straight out for a Bilzer throw-in. But see Marcus about to hit on the counter with that Team of the Year Messi foot item we mentioned before. Just trying to work his way around the box.
R9 trying to do his fancy footwork as he often does. Comes off the goalie, but there's no one there to make good on the second chance. So Bilzer going to have a chance to reset here, Harrison.
We've spoken all night about taking chances, and this game could be 4-3 by now if these chances were taken, and it's still 2-1. It's still interesting. That's what's important. As we've got Bill coming in on an attack, and could he have maybe held off that pass and been a bit more composed there? He's got Hullett. He's probably looking for that reverse elastico again, I'd say, but we've got some composure. I would like to note that I think potentially Marcus and Airborne may be the only competitors starting with Team of the Year Messi in their teams. Hopefully that's not Bilzer's kryptonite. Hopefully he's able to hold that off, because obviously we saw he didn't get the result he wanted against Airborne. So could that be the difference?
And the goalie choices as well.
That's very true.
A couple of people agreeing on what the preferred meta is, Justin.
Yeah, no, I think it's always nice to have, that Team of the Year foot icon and a SAR. But one thing I just want to draw attention to, going back to that mischance from Marcus, got to give Bilzer the credit. That was some brilliant keeper movement. We didn't really draw attention on it in the moment, but that was really well done. And he's put himself in this opportunity where is he going to look to try and hold on for the rest of the first leg, Harrison?
Look, we spoke about it last time, and is Bill that character? Is Bill that type of player? I don't think so. But will his thoughts about last game be luring him and thinking, maybe should I be playing different? Should I not be playing so attacking? Should I be trying to hold on if I'm in front? Time will tell as he just, Marcus intercepts the ball there and goes forward, and he's got a good run here. Is that a penalty? I think it is. That might be a red card too.
Yeah, I think that's a red card as well.
I think that's a red card for Lucio, and that could be the difference. There is still 20 minutes to go. Marcus is going to have a penalty, I believe. It's going to be interesting to see who steps up for this. Could he step up with the A-League player, or should he definitely be stepping up with R9 Ronaldo, Team of the Year Mbappe? I think those will probably be the preferred choices here, but Bill will probably be switching out Lucio. Well, putting him at cam, for instance, and obviously making sure that he has a defensive line for the rest of the game here. I'm actually looking at the screen. Is it potentially a free kick or are we a penalty? It's a free kick. Fine margins in the E-League. Fine margins.
This is a chance. Stepped over the ball. Lionel Messi.
Not quite. Oh.
Thought for a second that was going to fall straight to Marcus's player.
Seen a fair bit of that tonight. A lot of balls coming off the goalkeepers and giving additional chances over to some of the competitors. And look, still a little bit of time here. 14 in-game minutes here for Bilzer to try to score himself another goal. He's been really piling on the pressure to Marcus, who said earlier he was feeling a little bit under the weather. Playing with a bit of a migraine can make it a little bit hard to focus, but he's still giving this one a crack, still keeping it quite a tight game.
We've seen here that Marcus is actually cue to pause, which I would say is probably to counteract where Bill has positioned his players with this red card. And if I'm Bill right now, I do not want I was about to say, don't want the ball to go out of play or a foul to be committed, but it has. And we can see here that Marcus is going to make some changes to his team. He's got not long left in this first leg. He's even going to change up some tactics. It looks like he might be replacing one of the MacArthur players.
I'm not sure. I honestly am really interested to see what Marcus is going to do. Does he change his formation? Because there he's looking to see where Bills has made his substitution, where he's put Lucio in his team, because Bills is going to need he would have made a sub to bring on a defender, because he's looking to assure he goes into this second leg with a lead, possibly even doubling that lead, as we look to see Bills are trying to hold the ball, maybe just trying to assure things.
Well, Pele trying to hold on to it, almost gets the ball bullied out of his hands. Virgil going to chip it downfield over to Hakimi. Another pause queued up by Marcus. And he's going to wrestle control for a second. Bit of a messy exchange, but Marcus gets control of the ball once again. Going to start finding some space over towards the bottom side here. Got a lot of players down here. Messi passing it off to Hakimi, who's looking to try to find someone inside the box to pass it off to. But after a couple of quick passes there, again, Bilzer does a great job of just wrestling control of the ball back. Oh.
And Hakimi just looking to try and assure things off. Sorry about that, Bilski. Marcus just try and get this ball back off Bilzer. Bilzer's doing such a good job to hold on to it. And just getting it, but commentator curse there by myself. Apologies, Bilzer.
Yeah, Marcus frustrated with how much the ball is getting overturned. He knew that he had potentially another opportunity to score to even things up there at the end of the first leg, but not quite able to do so. Maybe a little bit underwhelmed by his performance given how he's acting in the player cam right now. He seems a little bit frustrated, maybe, Harrison.
Yeah, I think, well, considering that there was a red card, he had the opportunity to really attack and make sure that this game was at least equalised going into the second leg. And I think Bill will be happy with the outcome of that first leg, considering that there was a red card. We haven't seen it often in this E-League. There hasn't been many rash challenges. I think Bill actually may have had the most red cards in this E-League season so far. So
why am I not surprised?
Yeah, it's the emotion. The emotion might get the better of him there, but look, I think he'll come away from that first leg. He'll be able to play with Lucio again in this second leg, and I think with it only being a one goal lead, it looks we might reset here.
I'd love to give him out an award at the end of the season for most red cards. That would be something. Maybe we've got to have a little like mini awards show. Maybe Lav can host it, and we can present some of these awards to the players. That'd be a great content idea. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to throw that over to the producer. Either way, though, this game though, Justin. Look, Bilzer, he's putting in the work, and he has to in the position that he is in the round robin group. He's really got no room for error anymore.
Yeah, I think now in this position that he's in, a goal up, if he's to lose from here, I think he'll be very disappointed with himself, just because you've put yourself in that position to be able to get the 3 points and to push yourself further up the ladder, take points away from someone that is above you, and basically push yourself into the top 6. However, if he doesn't, it's, as I said, going to be disappointed with himself. He's, as Harrison and I spoke about this again off stream, we're talking about the consistency, the difference between the top 3 players and those below them. It's that consistency factor. If you're going to go and beat, for example, with Sesto, go and beat Mike J, you need to be picking up those results against the lower competitors and be consistent. Make sure that you're going to be putting yourself up to the top of the table. And with Bilzer, this is a game that if he wins, he will push himself closer to the top 6.
Yeah, for sure. Even in other esports, it's something that I've noticed where teams can kind of climb into the realm of upsets, into the upper echelon of the scene, but they are not necessarily as consistent as the players that they've been able to upset, and that's where you really kind of tell the two classes of players apart. I think Bill's a perfect example where he hasn't had such a hot run in the round robin of the E-League, but you said he had a pretty good FGC the other week, so...
Exactly. Then that's the thing. We've got many competitions in our Oceania region, and obviously the E-League Australia is where they get to show off their best stuff. And hopefully, for Bilzer's sake, he's able to pull off those 3 points and push forward. But also, on the other hand, we've got Marcus in a very experienced competitor, and hopefully for him, he can pull those 3 points ahead and get back in.
Yeah, I think he looked a little tilted at the end of that first leg, but if anyone's going to be able to put the pieces back together, it's someone who's played pretty much every season and has played for many, many years at this point, Justin.
Yeah, as Harrison said, experienced competitor through and through. He's been there, done that for many a season. I mean, as we've said many a times, 6th season in the E-League, so there's no one more experienced than him. But I think it's just that being a bit more clinical for Marcus. Just slightly a bit more clinical. Make sure to take those chances on. And for Bilzer, it's definitely to make sure you take those chances, because a goal early on, again, changes the complexion of the game. It's going to be much more different for Marcus. He's going to have to try and get 2 goals back to even just equalise. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out, because it's a very tight game at the moment.
Yeah, for anyone that missed that first leg... Bilzer's actually up 2-1 right now, so he's got a reasonable chance for himself to actually secure some points. He's sitting a little bit lower in the group at the moment. Would take some heroics towards the tail end of the season for him to find himself in a 5th or 6th position. Marcus is pretty safe. He's already got himself a dub tonight, Justin, so a second win for him would just kind of put the cherry on top and probably secure himself a spot in the playoffs at this point.
Well, as I mentioned before, I think it puts him onto 16. It's Bilzer. Not sure if he's being clipped by the goalkeeper there or not, but I think, again, that was a red time finish. I think that's 3 or 4 times that's happened, and that could be the difference.
Well, Marcus on the counter-attack. Going to be running things all the way down with Ronaldinho. Comes off the goalie. What is going on right now? Harrison, Please help.
It's another hands-on-head moment. That's absolutely wild. You would expect, I believe it was Ronaldinho, Team of the Year icon Ronaldinho. You would expect him to finish that. It was put on a plate, but we see here Bill pushing up again with Marcus strong on defense. That was a big. Could that be the moment that changes the game? That could have been the moment.
He's again straight away running it all the way down the line. Comes off one of Bilzer's defenders, so Marcus going to have a chance to reset here. He's looking locked in. He knows this win is probably the spot in the playoffs on a silver platter, which should be expected of him at this point, but very aggressive defense there from Bilzer. Wrestles the ball back, Justin.
He's been able to counter so well, be able to get that ball quickly. Bilzer looks to possibly score again. It's just that last chance, that last opportunity, that last... Man, Bilzer just can't seem to score for the life of him. It's unfortunate for him, but every chance just seems like something's just not going for him.
Still ahead here. Marcus is the one who is looking to even this game up after how things went in the first leg. Patiently holding on to the ball. Theo to Messi, but Bilzer, so proactive, so aggressive. Once again, finds himself with possession of the ball.
Yeah, he's playing very well here. He's had a few opportunities, but we've seen a few opportunities on the other side as well. They are going to come. It's going to be a nail-biting finish, but we've got Marcus here with a player lock as well. That's a mechanic that isn't used as much, but it didn't pay off for Marcus there. And we've got a through ball, and he's finished it. Green timed.
There you go. Frustration from Bilzer. He knows that he let that ball slip. Intercepted pass, and Marcus will definitely punish. 2 apiece now. Things getting a little bit spicier, Justin.
This is exactly where I think the neutral will want to see the game be. 2 all at the moment. 20 minutes into this second leg. See Marcus on the attack with the corner. Looks to play it on the edge of the box. Work his way into the box. And just not sure if he went to time that or not. But the keeper movement from Bilzer, you have to give him credit. Well done again.
So R9 juke about 4 defenders there. It's cutting the direction at the last possible second. Bilzer now with a little bit of space. You've just seen this over and over and over again. Both of these players hitting on the counter. Big pass down the bottom side of the field there from Marcus. Messi and Mbappe trying to find some more space. Defenders trying to get into position, and Marcus just going to slow this down here.
I think that was, again, Justin, you may be able to confirm for me, but I think that was another late time finishing on that shot as well for Bill. When does he decide that maybe let's not time finish anymore? Because it seems like that's been the difference. We've seen a lot of reds, we've seen a lot of late finishes, and that could be the difference between winning, drawing, or getting a result in this game.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on, Harrison. Another thing I would like to draw attention to is it seems like I feel like Marcus is drawing his players out too much in defense, and he's leaving Bilzer with that opportunity to just either play a chip through ball or just a straight through ball through the defense, and it's happening too often now. And if Bilzer doesn't take his chances, Marcus might be able to grab another goal and take the lead.
Well, again, Bilzer trying to get in there on the counter. Mbappe gets tripped. And he's going to have another chance here. Mbappe passing it over to the bottom side. Bilzer, see how he tries to finish here. That has been his issue. But Marcus again wrestles control of the ball back.
Again, it's a tight one, isn't it? It's two apiece. Marcus has got the ball back. Bill, again, he's been good on defense. I think both boys need to be... And it's changed over quickly. Intercepted, and Marcus... Oh, I thought that was going to be it. I thought we were going to see a 2-goal turnaround. Marcus has reset from a corner, and again, we've gone short. But not a lot of composure off that corner. Straight intercepted. As you noted earlier, Bill is being very proactive in defense. He's trying to step. He's trying to get the ball early and make sure that he can counter, which he has been doing well. But it's just that last part, getting the ball in the net. And That's what we're here for.
4 minutes left. Bilzer again wrestling control of the ball back. Has a little bit of space here. Oh, bit of a heavy-handed pass though is going to allow Marcus to grab control of the ball back. Start running it up the top side. See what he's able to do with this. Mbappe passing it over to Hullet. And Theo now just patiently working it down the bottom side. 30 seconds left in it. Feels like Marcus is just running down the time. Wants to have the last play of the half here. Messi passing it over to Hullet. We're getting closer and closer to the box. But again, it's proactivity from Bilzer. Going to reset. Last play of the game, and that's going to be it. 2 apiece heading into the last leg. It just could not be tighter than this, Justin.
You can see the frustration on Bilzer's face there, kind of questioning why the referee called that back. He was possibly there with a chance on goal, and just I'm just as confused as to why that was called back. He had the ball. There was an advantage, yes, but why was that called back?
Seeing more frustration from Marcus, though. This game is not going how he wanted it to so far, Harrison.
It looks like this game is getting the emotion out of both of the boys, and we love to see it. We love to see that both boys want to get the most out of these games. They want to get the result. They love playing this game, and winning at all costs is everything to them. But as we see here, Marcus has started off strong. He's attacking with Theo, who has been a very, very attacking player tonight.
Bullet going to pass it down to Mbappe again. Chipping it up the top side. Bilzer trying to find space, trying to hit on the counter. But the pass has a little bit too much sauce on it. So Marcus will have a chance to reset here.
Just thinking about the table, not that Marcus would want to try to play out a draw, but would it be fair to say this result, a draw does more favours towards Marcus than it does to Bilzer?
It certainly does. I think it puts Marcus up into the 4th spot, just ahead of Sesto. Both of them have been, over the last few weeks, I think they've been on the same points for the last few weeks. Ses got a win earlier, so did Marcus. They both went up 3 points, and I think it is very important for Marcus to get this win to get that next spot ahead and to get some comfortability around where he is over the next few weeks. Obviously, we've hit the halfway point in the group stages here at E-League Australia 2023, and it's going to be a crunching last 40 minutes, that's for sure.
There's only so many games left in this round robin group. I think we're past the halfway point for this group. The other group still needs a little bit more time to catch up. Missed a couple of games last week, so that will be something to keep an eye on, especially because that group is going to be so tight in the middle of things in comparison to the amount of dominant players we have over here in this group. Bilzer again, aggression from him, but going to slow things down. This next goal is absolutely everything for both of these players. Either one of them would love to pile the pressure back on and get themselves one step closer to a W here.
Yeah, well, even though I brought up the fact that this result probably does more favours for Marcus than it does Bilzer, I definitely don't think he's going to be wanting a draw. I think he's going to be winning it. He has that winner's mentality and knows that picking up the 3 points will put him closer to that position of 4th place.
I was just about to say, if you look at the player cams, which we have the beauty of seeing, it looks like Bill is feeling himself a bit more. I keep seeing him smile. I keep seeing those pearly whites coming out, and you can see that Marcus has not exactly been happy with his game so far. Does that say the difference between where Bill actually thinks he's sitting in this game? Does he think he's going to be able to take these 3 points away in the late stages of this game? While we have Marcus going in on attack, and Van der Sar again. Is he crucial? Is it crucial with Team of the Year icon foot item Van der Sar over an A-League player in goal? Could that be the question? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
Bilzer again, working his way up the field. Oh, can't quite complete the pass though. Marcus gets things back under control. And he wants to try to convert one of these opportunities. Mbappe finding a bit of space up the top. The amount of times that the ball has been overturned so far this game, particularly by Bilzer, harassing him on this defense again, Justin.
Yeah, that constant pressure in defense, certainly showing his worth at the back, being able to make sure that Marcus is not having an enjoyable time in attack.
I mean, you praise Marcus for his ability to be able to hold on to the ball most of the time, Harrison, but Bilzer is doing a great job wrestling it off of him time and time again.
I think that's that proactivity that you were speaking about earlier. I think he's doing well on that. But you can see here, Marcus is playing a bit more composed. He's keeping the possession. If he has the ball, Bill doesn't. And Bill can't score that way. So he's playing it slow like he did towards the end of the half of this leg as well. But as you can see here, Bill can match that. Bill's also keeping the ball. We've got him with Hullet here just keeping the ball. Both players are playing very slow at the moment, but
just offside.
Offside. And we've only got 17 minutes left to go in this leg, and it's going to be a close one.
Any changes?
Yeah, I was going to say, was the start of tonight a false hope? We had so many goals, and this game is 2-2 with 13 minutes to go. It's going to be interesting to see what changes the boys come up with. What do you think, Justin? What will they be looking at?
Well, I constantly just think back to who this result benefits more. And does that mean that Bilzer might have to go for this more than Marcus does?
I think he does. Like, he needs this win. If he doesn't get the 3 points here, it's probably the end of the group. I haven't crunched the numbers or anything like that, but in the position that he's in this group, he needs to take these kind of wins. So Marcus, I mean, yeah, he needs to win a lot less, but it'll be a weight off of his mind, particularly if he's not feeling the greatest at the moment, just to get this 3 points, because that's probably going to secure himself a spot in the playoffs, and then it takes the pressure off for the next couple of games. He can kind of relax a little bit more. Maybe doesn't have to exert himself as much, because top 2 spot in these groups are obviously seeded around ahead. The rest aren't. Although seeding can sometimes matter, you'd probably prefer to play a little bit of a weaker opponent. But then again, in the other group, those standings, I feel like, are going to be so tight in between some of those players that you might not necessarily be guaranteed that. Marcus, straight off the bat, trying to set the tone, but Bilzer quite aggressively challenging there. So he's going to get himself a chance to reset from the corner here.
It's going to be a close corner. We had a close pass, but I wanted to highlight we've got a new player. The first time we've ever had this player in the E-League. First, I'll let this attack play out, see how Bill plays it. Pele going in. He does the ball roll. Outstanding defense from Marcus. Absolutely outstanding. And I'll continue on the player that I was going to mention. We have foot birthday icon Cantona. The first time it's been used, it came out over the weekend, and this is the first game we've seen it be used. Could that be the player that wins the game here? What do you think, Justin?
5-star skills, 5-star weak foot. I know many players were talking about how he didn't have much of an upgrade on his normal card and his prime icon. But all you need sometimes is that addition of that 5-star weak foot. You don't really need much more stats to change, because it makes him a usable card when it comes to these competitive players. Marcus on the edge of the box with the finish. Well, that cements his place in the top 6.
Maybe Mbappe will be celebrating that one. Bilzer very frustrated. He surely has to go on the front foot now. He needed this win so badly here, but a 2-0 in this second leg in the last half. 7 minutes of play left to go. Can Bilzer claw himself back a point? Is that even good enough for his chances here in the E-League? He realistically needs 2, and Marcus is piling on the pressure, piling on the hurt. Pele inside the box. Van der Sar puts one hand on it, but it's nothing to be super excited about, Justin.
No, I think that was a game-changing finish from Marcus. A team of the foot, a team of the item. Mbappe, Cantona, green beam, but unfortunately, the finish just isn't there for Marcus, and it still leaves Bilzer with a chance to try and work it up the field, get that last opportunity. But just offside.
Pulled offside there, so going to reset a minute 50 in this one. All you have to do for Marcus is just max chill at this point.
Max chill 100%. That foot birthday icon Cantona was almost the deciding factor. He almost put him 2 goals up. He would have been comfortable, and that position would have been decided for him. It's going to be a very, very close one for the rest of the game, but I think I think game management's going to come into this, and I think Marcus is just going to hold the ball for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think that's what the top competitors are going to do. We saw it with Dylan Campbell against Sesto, just kind of ran the ball back, not giving his opponent the opportunity to be able to collect the ball and create a chance. I think that's what we might see here. I'd be surprised if Marcus works this into the box.
It's running out the timer. Goes out of bounds, reset from the corner, but with nothing left in this game. Take an absolute miracle for Bilzer to be able to even things up, and even if he did, 1 point is not enough to get him off the bottom of the table. Marcus again in a tight game, showing his composure and showing his veteran presence here in the E-League. 3-2, only 1 goal in it, and it was a hell of a goal that he put in the back of the net there.
That was a brilliant finish by Marcus. He's captured the 3 points for himself, and I put the question out there, is that top 6 confirmed for him? I mean, I don't want to be that person with
I think it's bloody close. What has he got? 16 points.
16 points
He's
now.
ahead of Sesto now. Right outside the elite tier players, I guess you would say, in this group. It's been a fantastic game for him. Up against Bilzer there. Really enjoyed that series. That was a tight one, and this is exactly what I was saying heading into today when I was talking about the fact that I always get excited once you head towards the end of the round robin groups, not for the players who have already done well, not for the players that you expect to do well, but for the players that are getting into these situations where it's make or break games for them. They literally need to win the game or that's going to be their season over, and that was the case for Bilzer, I felt like, in this game, but unfortunately just couldn't get it done in against Marcus. Got it done in the FGC, but not here in the E-League.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Constantly spoke about the missed opportunities that Bilzer had, but there was some that maybe I don't think he had much control of. There was some that we constantly drew attention to, the red time finishes, that if they happened to be green or maybe even just no timing at all, could have scored, and that's the game done. We wouldn't even have had a contest. There were so many chances that Bilzer had, but in the end, this chance that we're about to see, I believe, was the chance that cemented the 3 points for Marcus.
Got some of the other boys back on the couch here, so what did you guys think of that game?
How exciting, but maybe a little bit traumatic in the end, the way that goes. Red cards as well. You had Pilsky talking about the red card tally and maybe a little trophy presentation at the end. Mitch, are you thinking along the same lines or not?
No, it's tough to say, but look, I kind of feel for Bilzer. I think he's had a bit of a tough night in terms of, especially in that early one, the late goal that he conceded, and, I really want him to do well.
You got a soft spot for Bilzer. Every time Bilzer, I've been noticing, Mitch, you're just like over there, you're like, man, I just want my boy to do well.
Yeah, it's the face cam, right? You were saying it yourself. It's hard to even pay attention to the game sometimes because he's so emotionally invested, right, Pilsky?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him if he doesn't make playoffs. I'm honestly gonna miss that.
We'll have a little separate trophy presentation, but maybe also Bilzer wins every award if Pilsky's running it. We'll see what we can do. The man at the other end of it, Marcus Gomes, what an incredible night for him, really securing a playoff spot. We'll see what he thinks in his own words, or maybe Moswed has to say on behalf of him. Lav, let's have a chat.
Marcus, congrats on a great night. How are you feeling? Do you think you have done enough to secure that playoff spot?
I mean, it's looking good. I didn't play good tonight, but to get 6 points is really good in terms of like making top 6. I played most of I guess the competitors above me. I think I've got a Sesto left that's around me, but no game's guaranteed. If you guys saw that game, no game's a guaranteed win regardless of position. So long way to go.
Well, I feel like you can't win both games and then say you didn't play well, but I reckon your secret weapon, your little coach that you've got beside you, has been beneficial. Does he have anything to say?
He's here. He just got back now, so you can go ahead. Speak for yourself.
Hello. Yes. I wasn't actually coaching Marcus. I just got home now, but I was watching the second game on my phone, and I thought the game was pretty close. I saw Bilzer had a few chances to put the game away, but then obviously the experience of Marcus, I think, it played a big part of that game. Yeah. I didn't do any coaching, if that's what you're asking. No.
First game you helped because I was like.
He's wiping his hands clean. He's saying, I'm not doing anything wrong. I take no responsibility. But what do you think? Do you think he's done enough to secure that top 6 spot?
How many games left?
2 game weeks.
2 game days. I think he's done enough because I'm sure Marcus will pick up a few more points in the next couple of weeks, and I think he will secure that top 6. I'm sure of it. Yeah.
Well, we love the confidence. Thank you so much for your expertise. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks to Marcus as well. Mo taking over. Thank you very much, Lav. It's what we wanted here. It's what we wanted on the couches here. Big smiles seeing former Melbourne Victory E-League representative Mo Zwed. #ZwedToBed. It's about that time maybe for all of you all as well. We don't mind a bit of coaching and stuff like that. Get the legends helping you out. Mitch Austin, anything that can help Marcus Gomes get into one of those playoff spots?
Yeah. Did Mo play for Victory? I didn't know with the jacket.
I was like, mate, are you serious? I know, like, we're getting on. It's been a few years. You don't remember the trophies and celebrations? He's still repping them, and I respect it.
I thought he was going to have the MacArthur top on, supporting his teammate.
He just got home. What do you mean? He was just, he just rocked up in that.
Yeah, maybe Socceroos tonight as well.
That's true.
Could have been a lot going on. Sincerely, thank you, Lav. Thank you, Marcus. And thank you, Mo Zwed. Wonderful to hear from you again. Guess we had an interview from Marcus a bit earlier, so that was Mo's turn. It all evens up in the end. What a night we've had. Enjoyable evening with some really high-scoring games, to be fair, and then some nail-biters as well. We're going to have a look at those club standings a little bit later, the fixtures, all the good stuff, because there was one other game, and I've demanded Producer Swifty, King Swifty, can we please get these highlights up? Can you get the team rocking and rolling? Not just because of the result or some of these goals, but Mitch Austin, it was decided by A-League men's foot items. That's right. Piscopo and some guy called Trent Bahaja making the difference for Noah Jar. You might remember struggled earlier this evening, fighting back. Maybe the internet issue fixing itself right up as well.
Yeah, that's a big win and quite disappointing for Airborne as well. I feel like he's had a fairly decent E-League in terms of his actual performances, but he's just not been able to, I guess, get the wins that he's really needed. And Noah is, I guess, in terms of stating that claim for should he have got the Wellington Phoenix spot, who knows?
Having a look again, confirmation of the goals and the goal scorers. There is Piscopo. And at 3-1 and things very much in the balance. There was a lot more to play, a lot more to be decided. Wonderful save, Van der Sar. Surely all competitors, chemistry or not, are going to find a way to include him based on what we've seen, because he had a way of stopping everything. Right at the end here, as mentioned, to seal it. The throwback to end all throwbacks. Trent Bahaja, the Newcastle Jets A-League men's player with the gritty. Another thrilling end here in the E-League. Another big result for Noah Jar. You're quite right as we welcome Harrison back. Fantastic to have you back here. What about for Port Airborne, who said before, Harrison, he felt he was a bit unlucky. Then you get gritted on to end your night. That's just a bad day.
That's just a bad day. I'd be going straight to bed with that one, I think. I wouldn't want to be thinking too much. I think he got to move on to next week and reset with that, but unlucky. But other than that, we had some really good results tonight. I feel like there was a lot of good games. We had a lot of goals early on, and that slowly decreased, but it was good to see. It was good FIFA play tonight.
Yeah, for one side you've got Port Airborne, on the other side you've got a delighted Noah Jar. Confirmation that was the 11-2 defeat for him earlier in the night. Pilski ends it with scoring 4 with A-League men's foot items nonetheless, and only conceding the 1. So I guess for every L there's a W, and Noah Jar looking at that top 6 alongside Marcus Gomes.
Yeah, maybe the goal difference wasn't fantastic for him, but I felt like he won the game that he would expect to win. Would have been a bit more of an upset over someone like Mark 11. I think Marcus doing well for himself tonight, probably securing his spot. I think Sesto as well, getting one of those dubs. So a couple of interesting storylines coming through there. I think Dylan maybe not getting the win over Marcus means that it might not be enough for him to recover bouncing off the bottom of the table, but he did take down Lockie at least.
Yeah, some competitors wondering if their tournament might be over. You heard Mo earlier saying, wait, how long's left? Last time when I played E-League, we were done in a few hours, mate. You guys have got weeks and weeks and weeks. Another thing that's been brought back, the club standings, where every game, every goal, as Pilski says, really does matter. It means that these competitors are not just playing for themselves, they are truly playing for their A-League men's club, for their E-League club. And the standings have changed. That's right. Sydney FC with Dylan Campbell up the top, obviously looking individually for now. Mark 11, Mike J. Goodness me, Justin, it was a big night for some of these individuals, whether it was for themselves or their E-League club.
Well, as was brought up just a bit ago, Dylan Banks, Aussie FIFA, with that win, puts himself 1 point outside the top 6. So from going to not having picked up a point last week or before last week to now 9 points, I mean, his goal difference is better than Boom's, but, you know, there's time to get back.
Plenty of time indeed. Mitch, you were talking about the 6th spot, maybe a little bit frustrated with Paddy and playing a bit conservatively. At the end of the night, he still finds himself in a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think he's lucky as well. Like we said, you know, you really need to kind of push and try and get those goals because, as I said, you know, when it comes to the crunch time, so to speak, you know, the goal difference is a big key in you know, players actually going to the next stage. So, yeah, it's one of those things. But look, hopefully, you know, the guys will take it and implement it, you know, going forward in the games ahead.
As mentioned, they're playing for themselves. Sure, we're used to that in FIFA esports, but there is a different feel about it, and it is back. Those E-League Premiership standings, the club standings, however you want to call them. I've typed it up enough. Can you tell I'm excited? Because have a look at that. Western Sydney, ole, 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 indeed. Top of the ladder. And Harrison, you were talking about goal difference plenty. Joining us here today. That is the difference. That is what is getting Western Sydney that top spot just over Melbourne City.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. 48 goals. And we're going to probably see a lot more coming tomorrow night. But a lot of chopping and changing, and it's good to see. It's good to see that not only the favourites are picking up their wins, but we've got some underdog stories, and it's going to make for a good E-League season.
Justin, I don't know if you're looking particularly happy. Is that because Sydney down there in 3rd? MacArthur up to 5th, brother, though, your former E-League represented club?
No, I'm not sad at all. Just a bit tired.
You're smiling now. You weren't smiling before, brother. Thoughts on those standings for us?
No, honestly, I'm really interested to see. I think those two clubs, Western Sydney, but Melbourne City, they've got arguably those top 4 out of the top 5 competitors in the whole E-League. So I think that's maybe why we're finding them in those top 2 spots in the club standings.
For Sydney FC, of course, with Dylan Pilsky, just quickly. Marco tomorrow, that's a massive night for him individually. But having a look at those club standings, now surely he's got 2 things on his mind.
Yeah, I think Dylan's kind of doing a bit more of the heavy lifting, but Marco, we'll see how he goes. He's had kind of a mixed run in the earlier parts of this season, but this group, like we've mentioned a million times, is a little bit tighter in terms of who you expect to kind of advance.
And that is confirmation. Marco opens the evening tomorrow against Envy, a big game because Envy is on that comeback trail. Some massive games. I feel like we say it every week, Mitch, but every week it is true. What about Sard Naylor in round 5?
Yeah, I was literally just looking at that. It's going to be a juicy game there, I think. And yeah, there's quite a few good games there. And Nugsy Brady, interested to see you know, Brady's personality shine there with all the sauce bottles and things. But yeah, some good games and looking forward to it.
Goodness me, if you haven't seen his tweet tonight, Justin, it was a spicy one, was showing me a bit before. I'm like, I can't even get started with that fella. Finding the biggest names and memeing them down, if not taking them down on the FIFA 23 digital pitch. A big thank you to you all for joining us tonight. I hope you appreciate that there's a few different things at play. We mentioned with Marco for Sydney FC, for himself, and for his team. But gentlemen, Harrison, thank you for joining us specifically tonight. Hopefully you're back again tomorrow night. I'm just making it up. Now the producer's stuck either way. How did you feel your night on the couch here? You mentioned plenty of goals. What about on the other end? The defense, that sort of E-League tenacity that we've learned to grow and love. It's a different beast, right?
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible, and I'd just like to say thank you very much for having me here. It was fun, and plenty of goals, plenty of defense, and hopefully a lot more tomorrow night.
I want to just focus really quickly, Bielski, on those club standings, mate. We were talking about the difference, and maybe in FIFA esports, competitors are used to just playing for themselves. How much is that playing on the minds tomorrow? We're talking about Marco at the top. What about Central Coast Mariners? Very proudly picking 2 representative competitors, local competitors, having Brady, who played in that Central Coast Mariners Pro-Am tournament. Then you have Lockie, who's now go through that same thing. While we like to joke and laugh a bit about Brady's antics, at the other end of that table, you expecting big things from Brady and the Mariners tomorrow night?
Maybe. maybe some memes is what I would say.
No more memes, brother.
It is the group of memes at the end of the day. The interesting thing I found with the standings is there was such a big drop off in goal difference between the 4th and the 5th team. Like I think it was like 30 or something like that. So some big scoring teams in the top 4 there, but then after that the drop off is pretty massive.
Agreed. And that's why we're talking about goal difference and a few people saying, I don't understand why you're mentioning that. The group stage, it's longer this season, and we couldn't do that without our excellent sponsors. Shout out Nivea for Men for getting involved, presenting partner for Maccas and PlayStation 5. Of course, I have a question or two on that. I'm sorry if I didn't answer that clearly enough the first time. We are exclusive on PlayStation. It is the global standard in FIFA esports. It is the standard here in the E-League. We've got some of the elite controllers next to us here. I tell you what, I just get excited every time I have a look over. We'll let the competitors use them. There's no point in me doing that in my weekend league. A big thank you to our partners and sponsors for giving us an extended competition, meaning we can develop these storylines, get to know these competitors. Shout out Lav for those excellent interviews, for Moswed for making a comeback, at least on camera. We're going to do it all again. Tomorrow night we've got Group B. Do not miss a minute of the action here in E-League Australia 2023. Sesto does try a very similar ball. A lovely ball across on Sesto. That is brilliant. The extra pass leads to the goal for Piraeus. Western United fans delighted. And Sesto with a little finger wag to let him know.
A bit of aggressive defense. His R9 though running it straight into the box, and he just 1v4s all of the defense, easy as you like.
Looking for the 1-2 Aussie with Janola. Somehow gets it back. Players on side, Mbappe, green time, and no keeper will stop that. Marcus will be frustrated with the build-up. Dylan will be delighted with the finish. Big celebrations for 1-1 with a leg to count, but Aussie FIFA might be feeling that on the inside. Marcus, starved of possession here. Some decent little passing, lovely turn with Messi. The right foot of Messi provides the opening. Look how delighted Marcus is with that. Scoring with the GOAT. Hakimi with a challenge for Marcus. Sprints away. You can hold it up. You can go inside. This one is done for Marcus Gomes. He'll make it 3 of the best. It is 5-4-1. Mark 11 make him pay here right at the end in stoppage time. The extra pass. He will indeed. I felt like it was coming. Maybe you could see it coming. Shuffle a deck of cards because we've had a few woodwork hits. Maybe now Ronaldinho through, near post open, near post taken. There is your gritty, customary E-League gritty. Welcome to the E-League indeed.
Who do you think is going to sneak into those last few spots?
Probably not Paddy with his playstyle. Like if it wasn't for crosses, it would probably be like Div 9. So hopefully he changes his playstyle and he can make top 6 with that.
This is that addition of that 5-star week where you don't really need much more stats to change, because he makes him a usable card when it comes to these competitive players. Marcus on the edge of the box with the finish. Well, that cement his place in the top 6.
Maybe Mbappe will be celebrating that one. Bilzer very frustrated. He surely has to go on the front foot now. He needed this win so badly here, but